We are live. Hmm. I think I should. Yeah, I think I should leave this like this. Um, I think if I keep adding stuff in, my computer tends to overheat. We're gonna try not to overheat the computer. How's that sound? Sounds like a plan. Um, the lore. It's been like a thing that it's like so attractive. Um, to me. I think it's where VTubers are concerned that like I have been so attracted to them because all of a sudden they became instant storytellers, and they have these models, and the models come from something. They could be a demon, and Satan themselves, wolves, artificial intelligence, cats, dogs, fish, whales. It could be all these things, and it's always fascinated me because one of the things that I'm mostly attracted to where people are concerned, I used to say how I hated people, but what attracts me to people is when they are themselves. And most people get kind of like caught up in this whole how they look in the mirror and stuff like that, and it's like that's your reflection. That's not who you are. um like it's one of the reasons why I don't like the fact that I have to admit that my job is part of who I am. I want to basically just I want to just consider it a necessary evil, and not really a part of who I am. But it is part of me, and it's a tough pill to swallow, actually. I'll keep that like this. I did update the cues. I have a few more cues to make, but today we're just gonna relax. I mean, it's kind of like a relaxing thing. I had on the way into work, I had kind of a eureka moment, and you know what? I haven't. This is me failing at things. Um, I changed out Little Yoda is not there anymore, and so I changed out with one of the aliens from Toy Story, and I don't know. The alien from Toy Story does not have a name. It's one of the few things that I have that just does not have a name. So, if you're watching this video, or I might mention it in future. I didn't mention it today. I don't even know what number I'm on. around 83. I could have guessed. I could have guessed that. I should probably play some music. Have some music going on. You know what, let's do that too. Little Yoda lasted a bit, and I think I was like stifling myself, but I was definitely coming up with some really, really good stuff. Over the weekend during the subathon, I watched some of the really early commuting videos, and holy cow, they're absolutely phenomenal. Well, to me, they are. They don't get very much love, so I don't know if I should promote them all that much or talk about like how I find them fascinating. But man, I was very hard on myself, and I'm very hard on the community, and I think I was doing that because I wanted that to be like part of like the charm of this, and it's working, but I haven't really established that. I don't think people realize like that this is a rant. This is just me like kind of like blowing off steam before I get to work, so that I can kind of like pump myself up for dealing with the job. But today, and I forgot to upload it, which is kind of really bizarre. Um, um, I I've been like kicking myself, and I've been spending a lot of time, and I know that one of the main things that I've been doing is that it's my um, irrational need for acceptance by everybody, that especially when people give me a little bit of pushback. I think that's the opportunity for me to show my stuff, and be charming, and everything like that. And for over a year, you know um, I have been trying to make inroads in a certain community. um, everything's a community. There's a streamer, and the streamer has their community and everything like that. And people are parts of many communities. I'm part of a bunch of communities too. So it's not just an individual, which is one of the reasons why when I've always known that the person who reported me was part of that, was a member of that community. There are also members of other communities as well. But this has been like my longest standing community. I mean, like, I'm not really part of like, any of the V Shoujo streamers communities. I I joked about it in songs that I want to be a part of those communities, but I'm not really. I've never really been a part of it. I've had many different interactions with especially the larger streamers and stuff like that. But I've always looked at it like that. I'm one of 10,000, one of 100,000, one of a million in Iron Mouse's case, and I'm just kind of like lost in the entire shuffle of it all. And it's not a bad thing, you know. It's not, it is just is what it is. And I am, you know, as far as the aspects of those communities are concerned, that's I I understand my place. When you get into where there's the streamer is smaller and more interactive with you and everybody else who come in. I mean, like, obviously, if anybody who chimes in chat, I'm right on it. Like 1, 2, 3. And it's a big deal to me when people chat, and that's because I'm a tiny streamer, and you know the access level that viewers have to me is tremendous because there isn't a lot of competition. There isn't a lot of competition of people vying for my attention. Um, I go, long periods of time where it's just me. And so that's, but I'm in I'm in just starting the process of building a community. And it's, scary and fun and exciting and all that stuff all wrapped up in one. But, when you actually see somebody who starts out and you catch them at the ground floor and you're with them pretty much through, everything. Obviously, there was a hiccup for where I'm concerned, especially where Twitch is concerned, because of what happened to me in December. And the individual is not the streamer of that community, so that's why I didn't correlate. I didn't have the Eureka moment until today. But I've always been, from the outset. And, they're not the only community that I was a part of. My first Twitch community, that was my whole world for months. And when I branched out from that, I was literally just hitting pretty much every community because they all felt the same to me. And one of the things that, like I said, when I was watching the early commuting videos, that was what I mentioned. That's what I talk about a lot of, is how all the communities do the same thing. I put the Miyuni community, because it was my first, high up on a pedestal, and it had more meaning for me. But in truth, it is just like every other community, and I've been touting that. And the thing is that all communities are not the same. My main community now, because I have a main community that I'm part of, I am definitely more personable with everybody in there. Even new people come in, I'm still more personable with them than I am with any other community. And in that community, and more personable than even my own community, the Spark community. Um, so I'm very attached to that community. Um, the the thing that I've been doing is I've been treating it like every other community because of my uni, because I don't want to be um, invested is probably the wrong word. Um, but um, um, vulnerable. I because of what happened where and like I said, the community didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do any. There's nothing wrong. They did pretty much. They played right by the playbook, the Twitch playbook on how to set up a community and govern a community and do all the things. There's nothing wrong with any things that they did. It's it's right there. I mean, it's kind of like the unwritten rules. They're not really written, but it's you go to any community, and that's exactly how they do it. The bigger the streamer gets, the more they have to do things like that, the culling and things like that, because viewers will take advantage of it. And when you go from having, almost unlimited access to when the streamer was smaller to when the streamer gets bigger and you have very limited to almost no access to the streamer, changes have to be made. I watched it. I watched that happen with Iron Mouse's community. The Precious Family. The Precious Family is huge, so ginormous, and I didn't realize when I was watching her that I could have been a part of that. I kind of stayed out of it. I was reacting and doing all those things, but I kind of just stayed out of the whole community aspect of it until obviously it was too late. The first real community that I was a part of was my unis. That goes with the science team. That goes with all of them. Um, but yeah, when I branched out from um, my uni, because I will say I was kind of like brokenhearted that it wasn't as special as I thought it was, which is the reason why it broke my heart. I thought it was more than just those, because they call them communities, and it's really, um, revenue generation. Your customers. The viewers become customers. They're like moviegoers. I mean, that's really what the community is actually doing, and I am going to fight that every step of the way. To not, I don't want to ever put a dollar sign above anybody's head. I don't want anybody to feel when they're part of, the community that I'm building, to even feel like even remotely that that in order to they have to pay in order to play. Um, I don't want that ever to happen. Um, I watched it destroy, destroy friendships, destroy, and it that money aspect of it, to me is one of the things that were, getting back to my first community. I think that played a role in my decision to depart. And I felt really bad for especially a lot of the people who were in my current community, because they invested a lot of things into that community. They were a big part of how it was built up because you know the money talked. And it's a tough pill to swallow when that's that's all you were worth, and nothing more. And I never wanted to see that happen with my current community, and I will always fight with the Sparks. I will always fight it. If you give, you give, and I appreciate it, but it's not going to, money is not going to give you special access and, you know, build up anymore. I know that right now because I'm limited to the space where the emotes are concerned. There's a tier 2 and a tier 3 emote, but they're pretty much just placeholders. They're not even, there's nothing really that special about them. The ones that I thought were special, if I bring them up, the more special ones I put, with the tier 1. And I think when I get to 60 days, which is funny because I've had the account for more than 60 days, but I haven't been an affiliate for 60 days. So I think that's how that works. So once I make 60 days as an affiliate, I'll have free emotes, which I will definitely, make. But I have, I made the animated emoticon, so and I adore it, and you can see it. It's right here. But yeah, so like what happened to me in December is was very difficult for me to deal with. Mostly because when it first happened, I was joking about it, and I was making, just kind of making light of it because, I wasn't even an affiliate, and I didn't even have. I think I only had like 20 followers at the time, 23 followers I think I had at the time, so not even a large number of followers. Not even anywhere close to, getting affiliate. And I was trying to set up to see how the streams were going to work. This is before I even knew how to use OBS, and this is when I was using Streamlabs and doing all this stuff. So everything was brand new. It was all shiny. I was all going through all the motions of it, and it. I definitely speak my mind. I definitely don't. I can work with a script. I can, and if I become larger and things have to be organized because right now I'm just free form. I will work with a script where things will be more scheduled and thought things thought out beforehand and tested, and I'd be working with a team of people that I can see in the future with where streaming is concerned. But right now I'm just off. Everything's off the cuff. Like this chatting session is just off the cuff. In fact, I was thinking about um, let's see if we can do this. So I was thinking about um, it's kind of difficult to do. So I can make myself huge, and if somebody comes in, we can shrink it down. But you don't have to have. Um, yeah, I want to do that. So we can do something like this. It doesn't have to be a bunch of cues in the background. And if somebody comes in, we can do like a duo, and more people come in, and lower the stage and bring the stage all the way down here. Right now, we'll just do it like this. And actually, I adore the Relaxed Movement. Their YouTube channel. They're absolutely incredible, and they've definitely helped me out. Um, I really haven't struggling. I was really struggling to come up with music because every copyright-free, royalty-free music piece that I found, somewhere along the lines, it was finding something to copyright in there, and it was giving me copyright claims all over the place. I went through 27 music pieces, channels, pages, streams, suggested music list, Spotify, all of it. I went through all of it to try to find one, and everything I looked for was all considered royalty free, copyright free, for streamers. And the Relaxed Movement is the only only channel that has actually been completely free without anything. Every single piece that I have used has come up with something. I mean, just last night, Barely Audible. Um, yeah, it was played in the back, literally in the background of a VR chat. It was a sound bite, MIDI thing that you can barely even hear, but somehow it got copyright claimed, and the longest stint of the streamathon, which was a 10.5 hour video that included me sleeping, was copyrighted claimed by this piece of music that it even claims that like it's been slowed. I can look this up. The music has been slowed and reverbed because it was turned into a MIDI, and because of that, because of the slowed and reverb, it literally is, to me, it's barely even recognized. I hesitate to even call it music, and yeah, that has taken over, and I'm not monetized on YouTube at all, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, the truth matters, it doesn't matter. Right now I have it, free to use on the public. I have not watched it, but I do have a 4-hour video and an 8-hour video that I've watched both of them, and the ads generated for those videos, the 4 and the 8-hour, were obscene. It literally was like you watch 10 minutes of the video and you're caught right into another ad, and it's usually an ad block. The 8-hour video, I got caught in 2 back-to-back 2 ads in a row, back-to-back, watching my own video on YouTube. And I'm probably the only one watching the videos, so the ad that's generated, that's what I'm doing for them. So that's why I try not to watch them. And I ended up actually making the 8-hour video private, taking it off. And the 4-hour video, I think, is still public. I might have made that one private too. And I hate to do the 10-hour video because there's so much, I did a collab, and that's where the music comes in. I did a collab with VR Chat and everything like that, and then I let them all just have like free reign over it while I slept, and they were just, I haven't watched all of it, but it's, lots of craziness ensued. I wish I brought up somebody's stream who was streaming what they were doing, but there's no telling what they were doing, so you got me sleeping. But you can hear them, and they're all doing crazy things, and it's all lots of fun, and I adored it. I really did. It's one of the things that, as a streamer, these are the things that I want to produce. This is the stuff that I want to create. I don't necessarily want to keep people guessing what's going to happen, but a little bit of that is kind of like, being a little spontaneity, the spontaneity, doesn't hurt anything. And um, yeah, but a little spontaneity doesn't hurt anything. But I don't want it to be that. I want it to be, this is a shared experience. This is a shared, of who we are. My expression, when you get to my stream, you get my expression, and I definitely don't want to become like everybody else's stream and this, because that's not who I am. And I would encourage any other streamer, big or small, to find that expression for themselves. And I would love to be there when you do. Um, Producing the same thing that everybody else is producing, I don't know, maybe it gets you more people, and gets things happening, and the ball rolling, and everybody, that's where the ad, the revenue, stream comes in, and everybody's making money and stuff like that. And maybe that's if that's what it's all about, that's what, I guess that's the easy way to do it. Produce what works, create what works. But it's definitely kind of sad if that cost to do that, you lose self-expression is like, it's very easy for me. Self-expression is very easy for me to do. It's the simplest thing to do. You can't do it wrong. Yeah, it's like, which is a funny joke, because if you watch the very early videos on YouTube of me, the first thing I say is I'm doing this all wrong. But what I meant was I'm not doing streaming like everybody else is doing streaming. That's what I'm doing wrong. But as for my self-expression, I can't do that wrong. It's always going to be me. Yeah. My opinions on things, my opinions change. If you watch the earlier commuting videos, I'm very harsh against communities. I talk about it like they're all exactly the same, and the truth of the matter is they're not. And I only came up with that realization today. I lump the community that I'm involved with, that I'm a part of, that I was there from the beginning. Where I was, whole line supporter, and people supported me, and their support is the reason why I'm an affiliate right now. I mean, I can't do this without them. There's no other way to say it. They are my anchor. They keep me grounded on how this all works, and they are where I go to for advice. And I am ready to shoot for the stars, and go crazy, and I do unpopular stuff, and I'm not like, it's all just kind of like gobbledygook of like this. But the one thing that's always going to be true, and was always going to be what the one thing that's always going to hold true is that it's always going to be me. I will evolve. I will change. The only constant in the world is change. But even if I'm different from where I am today to where I am 2 years from now, the same thing is that the one thing that's going to be the exact thing that's going to hold true for who those two people are is that I'm me. And I wasn't anything else. I wasn't trying to be something I'm not. I wasn't trying to do this. It's all self expression. And I have to admit, it's very scary. I am terrified of this place because this is the reason it's so terrifying is because I am vulnerable. Um, I have to let the walls down. I have to let everybody inside to see kind of my ugliness that I don't like to share. Um, the you know where you don't see my brilliance or my funny, and it's something that it's things that I don't like to be out in the world. Even it makes me uncomfortable, and um, the reason that I'm not really forcing myself, but the reason that this part of me is needs to be shared is because you can see why I think the way I do, why I make certain decisions about things that would normally, a happy-go-lucky, free-spirited person wouldn't make those decisions at all. But if you know why I'm doing it, um, you know, my father leaving when I was 5 years old, the abandonment issues, um, my need of, my feeling even now of how I don't belong to anything. Um, One of the most amazing things, and people don't even see, it's, I think, I don't know if they realize that, because it could just be a throwaway statement by them. But when people say that, there's two ways to approach the craziness that I do. You know, oh, that's Sean, or I mean, oh, that's Q. Oh, Q's just doing Q stuff. It's the Q-ness of the whole thing. I mean, those are things that people can say. But if somebody says that's our Q, that that's my Q. He's that insane person that's going off over there. He's with us. And if people do that for me, like I I don't know. I probably would just break down and cry, because that means the whole world to me. That's the sense of belonging that I want. Not necessarily being owned, but being accepted for who I am is what I've never felt. And if I am accepted for who I am, I'm not recognizing it. I know everyone was talking about my lore and everything like that, but I wanted to get all this out of the way because, when you have a eureka moment like that, one, as I get older, they're becoming rarer and rarer, and I'm more set in my ways than ever before. But they happen still. People say that I don't change my mind about things, but look at this. This is really this is. It's not as much as the drawing tablet changed my drawing, my art, but it's up there. The drawing tablet definitely completely changed the way I'm doing, the way I approach art now. That's how tremendous this is to me. But how I see communities and everything like that, affects how I am as a streamer or a VTuber or a YouTuber or anything like that. It affects everything. It affects, it'll affect the subathon. It's going to have a ripple impact into everything. So I just want to get it all out there. I'm like, here I am. I'm still like following like all of these people, and I there's a reason that I had my opinion about the communities. They're the reason that it when I said things disparagingly against the communities at large and how I feel about them, they were my validation of that. And that's awful. I I forced, I dared people to prove me wrong. But I was forcing myself into a situation where I was going to be proven right. If that makes sense. And because I stuck with that community so long, I mean, literally I said, I gotta stop saying literally, but they are my introduction to all of it. Not my first, not even my second, but they're definitely one of the ones that I've held on to as far as, and I firmly believe, I still believe that what they stand for, they have the typical rules and everything like that about, no bullying, no toxicity, treat everybody nicely, treat everybody kindly. It's all there, and they seemingly do that. But their acceptance or lack of acceptance of me is, coming through loud and clear. And they, as a community, not as individuals, they as a community have never accepted me. And as far as the individuals are concerned, one person in the entire community has showed cursory acceptance of me, and the demand of my acceptance of them, I gave that freely, so that doesn't really count. But their demand on the community and anybody having access to them has always been, sheer acceptance for them. So what it really means is that cursory acceptance that they gave me is the only thing that they see from me. It's cursory. They don't see that I was giving everything that I had. They don't see that I was working towards things. They don't see that I was trying to make the networking connections. Hell, I made, if you go to my Twitter right now, I made an entire queue designed for networking. And when I do networking, I use that queue. The shirt says networking for dummies, because I am kind of dumb about it, and I don't, but I have always heeded the call. And the truth of the matter is that not a single one, and including the one who has the cursory acceptance of me. Not none of them. You know, they're not seeing this stream. Um, it's not anywhere a part of any of that stuff. And I am. I'm disappointed is probably the best way to say it, but I think I'm mostly disappointed in myself. Disappointed in myself that I've been trying so hard to make it work that um, it has been a detriment to how I feel, my connection to other people, um, all of that. Um, it has there's been a ripple effect from that to my connection to others because I viewed that as kind of the gold standard. And that gold standard hasn't, you know, hasn't, I have not changed it until today. Have not looked at it differently until today. And um, it's going to, and that, again, it's going to have a ripple effect because, I don't have that to fall back on. I was using, like I said, that was my gold standard of how communities function, how communities are. I compared everything to that community. Um, not the community that accepts me. I didn't use that community. Well, that would be insanity, right? No, I was using a community that was one of my first introductions, a community that was big and working with broad strokes and doing helpful things, with smaller streamers and building people up and supposedly accepting people, and I was using them as my gold standard because I couldn't use my first community because when I when it turned out that that community was just basically all falsehoods, I didn't want to use that community because I didn't belong to that community anymore. So I used this other community and I accepted them for their falsehoods as the standard of things, of how things work, of the begging for money, the reach deep down into your pocket and help me out and do those things. It's just like those things make me crazy and it's cringe to me. And I know that everybody's struggling, everybody's having a hard time. I totally understand it, and then I remember when Iron Mouse, needed to have a special desk because she's bedbound and she needed a special desk and she couldn't afford it, and so she did a donathon, to raise money for that. And I don't see anything wrong with that, but it just seems like that seems to be the fallback of whenever somebody's in trouble. The fallback is like lean on the community to basically bail out. Well, I'm struggling myself, and I would love to gift subs and subscribe and not see ads all over the place. I follow over 1,000 people. I would love to. I would love to take $5,000 and to subscribe to every single one of you. That would do do wonders. I know that it would definitely help people out who are basically struggling, but and definitely Twitch would love the fact that they would get $2,500 from me. Um, it's, but I'm not in that type of situation. Thank you, Eddie. I appreciate that. Discord is. You can read what Eddie wrote. It's. Thank you, thank you. I really do appreciate that, and we're getting there. I don't have to figure everything out all at once, and you know, there's something to be said about discovering that is also there. So. Um, I look forward to watching it. If you really want to know the truth, I definitely. We're all kind of in this together. I know you. I know you. Don't really have time for it, but. What is it? Yeah. See if that helps. Now you should be, if there's something that you should be able to do it. Okay. I was pausing for a second there. Always gets me nervous when those things happen. Right. Okay. We're still going. So when you talk about the lore and everything like that, like I said, it's one of those things that has always attracted me. And I know you don't have time for it, but just in case that this will help you be able to do that. I know that you were you know, you have a little more experience than I have none. um, with this sort of thing. So, and I know there's some aspects of it that you're learning, and I'm trying to learn too. So, we do it together. We do it together. Um, my my lore really hasn't changed that much from when um, I thought it up. Um, it it was a little more involved. I definitely, you know, I actually thought I was going to actually just read it. And now that I've actually reread it just recently, and it definitely needs to be worked on. When Twitter has been really big about, you know, tell us something about yourself, a little of your lore and stuff like that. And you know, when you're limited with the characters, because there's so much more to it, um, that I want to add in um, on how it all works, and you know what it actually means. Because unlike a lot of people's lore, I'm doing it from the standpoint that I'm just a normal human being. I'm not a fox or a wolf or a dog or penguin or cow, dragon, but I'm always happy to be around them, if that makes sense. Um, I originally created the gremlin as kind of a placeholder, um, and it's an emoji esque figure, so it was supposed to be even more head. I always liked your lore, actually, or what little I've known of it, you know, since and learned of it on Halloween, and I put you in Esky's Cooler, and you told me about it, and I always thought it was. Um, I don't know if it you becoming the Pengu God was back then, but I like that part. I like that too. So, but yeah, you've always been a penguin, and I always thought that where Esky was concerned, that you guys were a pretty good team up. Because he's an Eskimo and you're a penguin, even though you know you have Arctic and Antarctic. There's no Eskimos in Antarctica, right? No. But I've always liked the penguin aspect of it. I think I definitely know that it, because of my connection to you is the reason that I did the onesies the way I did them. And I thought it was pretty funny because I drew the onesie, my tester onesie was supposed to be you, but when I got to your character, I actually drew you in instead of drawing you as the original. So I've never used the original onesie. Um, but the reason that there's not long legs on the onesie, and um, and even the hands kind of like, the sleeves are not, long sleeved or anything like that, is because I wanted it to be very penguin-esque. But yeah, the gremlin was um, kind of like a placeholder, and then when I started actually drawing what I wanted it to encompass um, a lot of different aspects of my life, which is my connection to Walt Disney World, or Disney itself, and so it had to have a duckbill. Um, yeah, those types of things, and the reason why it went from being a duck to a platypus is because I wasn't going to be didn't really want to be a bird, and I kind of given up on all of that, and I was going to do hyper realistic with the platypus, as opposed to what you guys have been seeing a little too much of, which is the cues. And I think when I did your cue, I think I did it with the onesie in mind. I think I did it with the onesie in mind. Yeah, I did it as a hoodie. Just like I did Askey's with the Sarge from the Pokemon. Hmm. on. Yeah, what are the? I guess it's a good thing, but to me, it's kind of like a detriment is the limited characters that you have for your bio, the limited space that they give for the about. Everything needs to be very short and very almost at a quick glance, and I haven't even utilized half of the stuff anyway. So for me to speak disparagingly against it, it's probably probably a little hypocritical. I'm probably going to eat dinner in a bit and take a break. But I just wanted to stream a little bit today. Kind of let everybody know where my head's at and what I'm thinking about. And maybe I should do more of these or do less of these. Get back to the regular, art or games and things like that. I think I might take a break from StarCraft because I think I don't know. I'm struggling with a game that I remember when I first played it. I beat it in less than a weekend, the whole thing, and now I'm stuck on a mission that I'm not even able to get through, and I'm just it's bothering me. But thank you guys for being here. It's always a pleasure. Yeah, Eddie, we'll definitely talk about that video. I'm definitely interested. And let's see who's around. Yeah. If you guys have any suggestions on who's live, let's kill the music. Let's read Zara. Why not? Yeah, never suggest. Let's just do raid. Let's go.